Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nidus Anarchy series. I'm your host Adam, CIO and co-founder of Nidus, and today I have Alessandro Maci from P2P.org, and we're going to talk about a lot of cool stuff blockchain. I'm really excited to see what you guys got going on. I checked out your website and a little bit of your background, but maybe you can kind of give everyone kind of watching a little bit of history on you and what P2P.org is.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, first of all, thanks a lot for the invite, Adam. I'm a senior product manager at P2P.org. I'm responsible for like a suite of integration tools that our clients can use to access our staking services. So P2P.org is, first of all, like a blockchain infrastructure company. It provides like a secure and non-custodial staking services, mostly for crypto business and intermediaries.
Okay.
We have 7 billion TVL, and we are one of the largest staking provider out there today.
So let's start this. I've been doing, I think, crypto development and integration for about 4 years now. So but I know a lot of people that are in this podcast are more like cybersecurity backgrounds, so they don't really understand a lot of the crypto stuff. Can you kind of go into the background of just what staking is and what the purpose of it is? Like how do people earn from staking their crypto essentially?
Yeah, makes sense. So a lot of blockchain, maybe just to get a bit of context, a lot of blockchain use what's called like a consensus mechanism. A consensus mechanism called proof of stake. Essentially, staking is the operation where a user locks up a certain assets. By locking up the assets, you basically gain the right to participate in this consensus mechanism, which essentially allow you to secure the chain, contribute to the security of the blockchain. And by contributing to the security of the chain, you receive a rewards. The rewards is issued by the protocol itself, which again is rewarding you for the security part. And this whole operation is what we call staking. Different type of blockchain use different type of mechanics, but the basic is essentially like this one.
So, and one of the biggest obviously is Ethereum. They just moved to proof of stake. So, how's that affected your business from moving from proof of work to proof of stake from the Ethereum blockchain?
Yeah, it has affected a lot because indeed, like today is by far the biggest one. Even though its dominance is lowering, I think Solana is catching up there.
Okay.
But yeah, it has affected because we also work a lot with institutions. So obviously, we also follow the demand, and a lot of the institution demand was for Ethereum. So for us, it was important to understand how to provide the proper staking solution, proper staking services to all our clients. And so it was definitely a big change. And I think in the recent months and year, we also made some great announcements. We have launched like a lot of new integrations, also following up the evolvement of the evolution of the Ethereum staking,
Hmm.
which I think by far is probably one of the most dynamic out there. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So, so you're saying you work mainly with institutional clients, or okay? So, type of what type of product offerings do you have for them that entices them to want to go with your company to do this? Is it for the security aspect of it, or confidentiality, or both, or?
Yeah, so I think the security is definitely like a big role. I mean, I would say the biggest differentiator of P2P in the whole staking space are probably like security and innovation slash new technologies. You need to imagine, Adam, like the institution space is quite competitive. There are like a lot of institutions out there. So for them, it's very important to also have like competitive advantages, value to indeed acquire more users, acquire more customers, whether they are like other business or retails. And basically, the way we did at P2P was indeed to heavily invest on new technologies. Ethereum staking has evolved a lot in the last years. A lot of people maybe heard about eigenlayer restakings, others might have heard about the DVT. So our goal was to be among the first provider to essentially create integrations that will simplify how institution can access all these new technologies. And for the institution, what matters, I say, is to create a competitive advantage and also have a reliable partner that can explain them like the risk associated to these new technologies and the also the additional benefits. So that's something we heavily focused. Then, of course, there is the whole security part. I mean, everyone kind of claims to have a very secure setup, but in our case, I mean, we have an average of like 99% node uptime, which
Mhm.
basically means how often your node is available. The more your node is online, the more rewards you can accrue, and also the less penalty you receive. So that's very important. We are recently received like a SOC 2 compliance,
Oh, wow.
which is again a testament of the security we do. So those are definitely big elements in the way we differentiate from others.
Nice. So what's kind of the average like wallet size that people are staking with you? Like from let's just say like an Ethereum size. So I know isn't there like a minimum amount that you need to
Yeah.
have to consider part of the proof of stake?
Yeah, exactly. So indeed, you mentioned a big kind of limitations of at least for Ethereum staking. Indeed, if you want to participate natively in staking, you need to stake a minimum amount of 32 ETH,
Mm-hmm.
which is corresponds to like 100K USD. So obviously, this already cuts a lot of the retailers out of
Right.
that. That's also a reason why we mostly work with institutions. Obviously, depending on the institutions, the size, the volumes can be quite large. We're talking like thousands of ETH or less than thousands. So that also a bit depends on the institution size. For the retailers, other solutions in staking are more, I think, more appropriate are probably like liquid staking, which remove the need for the minimum amount of 32 ETH.
So they're just like kind of
So
joining into a pool.
yeah, exactly. So they're basically indeed they have a smart contract which helps to basically pull the stake coming from different parties, and then once they reach the minimum amount, they basically create a new validators behind
Okay.
that.
So everything's done via smart contract on, I'm guessing on Ethereum. Is that where you're putting it?
That's for the liquid staking. When it comes to we call it like native staking. So basically, is the say the native way to stake an Ethereum. Yes, you're also using a smart contract, but in that case, is the Ethereum deposit smart contract. So it's basically the smart contract where you lock up your assets directly. Um, Basically, what you're doing is that you're locking up the assets in there, and that basically allows you to spin up a validators and to have this validator entering in a queue, which is basically this waiting time until your validator becomes active, starts performing the expected duties, and then receive rewards at the end of that. Yeah.
So what did you see in the world of Ethereum when with validator nodes when they switched from proof of work to proof of stake? Was there a huge decline, or did you see it kind of average out? Like what was kind of the world of Ethereum when that happened?
I think, I mean, before let's say the old proof of stake, I mean, Ethereum was like on a proof of work, so the concept was also kind of different. Like we had miners, which used to have like very different like hardware setup to in order to run a node. I think the advantage of proof of stake, the way we see is that definitely attracted like more institutions. It also made the role of staking providers like us more relevant
Mm-hmm.
because even though the hardware requirements are probably inferior in terms of compared to proof of work, it's
Right.
still important to rely on like a trusted provider that somehow solves you the problem of the heavy lifting of running a node. You make sure that your node is always up in terms of performance, that you always have your node online, you avoid penalties. And it also introduces some risks when it comes, for example, to slashing. So the risk of basically losing the initial capital that you lock up. So those are some aspects that like new concepts that were introduced, but I would say that also
What
made
was that
all
Matt,
returns.
what was that you said that how you could lose your initial staked assets? What was that?
Yeah, that's the concept of slashing basically. So
Slashing?
when
Okay.
when you stake basically, let's say you're locking up your asset. Why you're locking up your asset? Because the protocol needs a way to incentivize you to behave in a good way.
Right.
If you don't do what you're expected to do, they can penalize you, and the penalty basically consists in taking part of your stake. So that's why
Oh,
we have insurance in place to
how much
prevent all that.
how does that work? How does it like percentages based on points lost, or how does that
Yeah.
slashing kind of
Yeah,
work?
depending, there are multiple factors. It depends on what kind of actions you're doing, how many other validators are performing, are also basically causing the same issues. There are kind of multipliers that can essentially impact how much you get slashed. So depends on the actions. Again, depends on how many other validators are
But are you
basically
looking at
causing.
like point percentages, or are you looking at like 50%? Like where's that range of how much you lose?
All, for example, all slashing, they all start with like basically with one ETH. And then
Damn.
again, yeah, yeah, that's the beginning for everyone.
It's like
And
what,
then
3 grand right now? I'm not sure where we're at today, but
yeah, basically. Again,
Woo.
it's used as a way to incentivize you. So you want to make sure that again your node is doing what's
Yeah.
the good thing, Adam, is that slashing is very rare. Like we are talking of very few events. Like for example, P2B has never experienced a slashing event.
Okay.
So obviously, like professional providers know how to avoid those issues. Like
Yeah.
the actions that cause slashings are known, and there are all kinds of systems in place to prevent that. And
And you said
yeah.
you even have insurance in place for that?
Yeah. So I don't want to brag too much, but I think the P2P insurance offering is probably one of the most comprehensive out there.
Okay.
As I say, as you can imagine, like everyone when thinks about slashing is quite scared.
Yeah.
So obviously the first question is, do you guys have an insurance? So the answer is yes. We have multiple types of insurance. We have one that is more like traditional finance kind of Web2 version.
Hmm.
We also have like an on-chain insurance with Realm. We also have with Nexus Mutual. We also have the option to use our own treasury funds. So we have multiple options to accommodate the needs of our clients. Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty cool. So you can almost guarantee not loss of funds due to slashing, essentially.
Yeah, that's indeed our goal. Of course, it depends also on the client because obviously insurance has also cost on top of that. So how much the client is willing to add on top of that. But yeah, we
And
can we can help you cover that for
and
sure.
what have you seen returns wise in, like, let's say a year when people are staking with you?
Yeah. So like just yesterday, we were calculating that one, and I think right now for P2P at least is like 3.6% on Ethereum. Then
Okay.
each network has different APRs, but on Ethereum right now is 3.6%. And we see this yield kind of lowering because this also depends on the number of validators on
So the
Ethereum.
more validators, the lower the number, I would imagine.
Exactly. Because indeed, so I think for everyone who is listening, the concept of validators is again, they participate to secure the network. Is not like, to me, is incorrect when people compare to investment. It's actually you're participating to secure the network. So the more people that are there, of course, the less the network needs to incentivize you, the less needs to reward you because there are already enough people. So that's a bit the concept.
And are
Yeah.
all these validator nodes, are they being paid via the gas prices? Like where's the rewards coming
Um,
from?
it partly is the issuance of new tokens. So basically, the protocol is issuing new tokens when you perform the expected duties. And second, yeah, you're correct. Partly indeed are the fees. So
Okay.
the part of transactions. So when you propose a block, basically you receive the transaction fees. MEV is also part of that. So yeah, those are the
What other
revenues.
chains do you work on? I said Solana, and what else? What other ones are you kind of
We
primarily?
have um, we have like 38 networks, and
Oh
to be
wow.
honest, I also don't
Okay.
remember all of them by heart. But
That's fine. I couldn't even list 30. So
yeah, but definitely like the major ones. So
okay, nice.
like Ethereum, Solana,
Yeah.
Polkadot, Cosmos, all different Cosmos chain.
So you said
Um,
Solana is coming up. I mean, Solana, I would say is up and coming. So everyone
yeah,
in the Web3 space definitely is very familiar with Solana. Is probably uses it
yeah,
regularly. But Solana is definitely becoming more popular. Like the Ethereum EVM blockchain, I think was probably the more dominant. But now Solana is way faster, way cheaper,
yeah.
but it goes down a lot. So what's your experience working with Solana with institutional investors?
Yeah, that's indeed something that is often the biggest concern when it comes to Solana. Like again, node uptime. I mean,
Yeah,
we're proud to say like we have one of the highest node uptime on Solana. So indeed, we basically make sure that even in case of big issues, either we are very fast to recover when again it's not something we can prevent, or indeed our percentage of uptime is very high. So you're correct indeed saying like there is a lot of increased interest for Solana, part also driven by the volume, by the price appreciation, and we are engaging a lot of clients that want to stake on Solana. And again, in the same case, they're looking for a trusted partner that can guarantee high performance and higher rewards.
right.
That's definitely the case.
So what coins or networks would you say are have the highest APR currently for staking? And do you find clients go more towards like the blue chip, like I want to do Ethereum, Solana because I know what they or are they more, let's say, hey, let's go with these weird ones that are giving me higher APRs?
Yeah, I think both applies. It depends also on the type of institution. As I said, there is a lot of competition out there. So if you are a new player, probably like competing on the big proof of stakes might not be as profitable just because there is already so much out there. Therefore, we see like interesting need like for new networks.
Yeah.
We are in the process of launching, for example, like new layer one blockchains as validators, for example, Avail, Aleo. So we see some interest. We were one of the first to launch, for example, Celestia. There was also like a lot of interest for that. But it's also true what you were saying, like other institutions instead prefer to have like kind of the blue chip. Ethereum is always there just because there is a lot of demand. Polkadot is also often mentioned as well as Solana. On Polkadot, we have one of the highest APR in the market, so we also got a lot of traction from there. Yeah.
What are you getting for that on average?
I think right now it's somewhere like around the 12, 14% APR. I might need to double check the number, but I think yeah, we are
Nice.
close to that.
That's a good number. 3% seems like not really much of worth.
That's
Like
true.
that's not even keeping up with inflation.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. That's why there's a lot of interest now, risk-taking, all these other new technology for sure.
Yeah. So what do you see happening in the staking market? Like unless like let's say in the next 3 years as everything grows. I mean, right now we're definitely at another hype cycle.
Yeah.
Do you see us maintaining where we are, or do you see kind of another consolidation and then like kind of like that kind of chain of events occurring? What do you see from your professional experience?
So I think, in my opinion, I foresee like indeed this growth of staking percentage to actually to continue. We recently crossed the number like 1 million validators on Ethereum,
Oh wow.
but we also see actually kind of this trend continue also in other chains. What I think it might happen as we were kind of discussing before, like the more validators you have, the lower the rewards.
Right.
But it's also true that, for example, in Ethereum now you have like these new trends, new technologies like Eigenlayer that still allows you to gain additional rewards on top of that. So that makes even this additional, even if the additional stake receives less rewards, still attractive because you can make all these extra yields on top of that. So I kind of expect this growth to continue, but I'm also aware that there are like discussions, for example, specifically in the Ethereum community on how to kind of change the staking mechanics, just because at a certain point, like a very high percentage of Ethereum stake is not what the protocol needs,
Hmm.
just because it kind of goes beyond the need of security that enables the Ethereum staking in general. So
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of changes I expect for sure on this.
So outside of P2P, what do you do for fun? What do you like to work on like that's not work when it's the weekend or at nights when you're just sitting there with you in your terminal?
Yeah, so I'm that's I don't know if you often encounter like with some of your guests, but actually my passion is this job. Like me is this space. I spend a lot of time, also my free time, like in general on Web3.
Okay.
Besides, let's say my role at P2P, I really enjoy the part of like product development,
Hmm.
taking an idea and building and until it becomes like a little prototypes that people can test it. For example, I participate like a lot in these hackathons from Ethereum Global. I'm
Nice.
with a couple of friends, sometimes we come up with some ideas and we decided
That's like
to
the
kind
worst
of
thing. Someone's like,
participate.
dude, I got an idea. We can build this out in a weekend. 3 months later, you're still working on this thing that was like a weekend idea.
The good things of hackathon is that you have like a very hard deadline. So you
Okay,
have two
true.
weeks. In 2 weeks, you need to do things. So you end up like working until late midnight to,
Yeah.
trying to find workarounds for everything. So that's my passions. I've thanks to some of these projects, I also built my own small applications called Woop Pay to
I saw
create
that.
basically
So is
payment
well, yeah.
payment
So what is that?
requests.
Just like an easy way to pay someone like with
Yeah,
various tokens, etc.
yeah. So to get some context, like I've been living in the Netherlands for several years, and that there is a very simple application that it's nothing to do with Web3. Basically, if you go out there with friends and you spend, I don't know, 30 euros for you and your friend, and you want to send in basically a request to get some money, you
Hmm.
can just use these applications. It connects to your bank, and in a few seconds you have your money. And I always wonder why something like this doesn't happen, that doesn't exist in Web3.
Right.
Because every time I had to ask money, I had to go to Discord, enter the address, specify the amount on this
Yeah.
network, on this other. Like the whole process is very
So how do you
There's not
notify
user friendly.
them for the request?
Basically, if you once you basically connect to the application will just ask you to connect your wallet. So basically, we're able to detect the network that you're using, and then you need to specify the amount that you need to ask. Once you basically create a request that will generate a QR code, you can pass that QR code, you can pass that link, so the person basically will receive a payment link where everything is already pre-filled. You just need to send the money, and then the application kind of facilitates that. It's quite simple, and that's what I like in Web3 to find. So.
Very cool. Awesome, man. Do you have any cool projects coming up or fun things or, I don't know, conventions or what's exciting in Web3 that's happening right now?
Yeah, so something that actually is also related to P2P.org that I would like to mention is like this new product campaign that we launched. We actually launched it in Paris, in Paris Blockchain Week a few months ago. It's called SAB. Basically stands for Staking as a Business.
Okay.
I always like to start it from a problem. So the problem we basically see is a lot of the crypto business out there, they have basically the return they make from staking often is either zero in case they have no staking strategy, or sometimes it's like a single digit. While if you look at actually the bigger business, like the ones, for example, have like public financial data, that's often like between a 10 and 20%. So our goal with staking as a business essentially is to allow you to build your own staking strategy, and we want to help you basically increase your profits again to reach somewhere like 10 or 20% of your total revenue. We do that basically by leveraging our experience. We obviously have a lot of experience in staking with both successful, not so successful integrations, our team, and we basically help you to build your own staking strategy. We help you with co-product, co-marketing, co-sales. We look at your user flow. We try to understand how you can modify your products to meet your users' needs. Co-sales, we have our sales team training your sales team to basically win more deals, and then launching co-marketing campaigns together. Overall, to make your staking strategy more effective and increase your profits from, let's say, 10, 20% of your overall returns. That's something we're very excited. We're piloting with some clients out there. So definitely
Nice.
Something to keep an eye on it.
Very cool. Awesome, man. Cool. So, I don't know. I'm not really sure what else to ask, man. That's pretty crazy. I like the Woop Pay idea. Honestly, I think that's pretty cool. Just things that are very simple and concise and have one very easy mechanism, I think is the most important stuff out there. Because like when it gets too crazy, people just get lost and confused.
Absolutely. I think this also all helps, to onboard like more people in the space, trying to also show that, it's not just like about some crazy flows and complicated ones, but it can also be simple and can help you need to solve
Nice.
some of the problems out there. So
Cool, man. Well, that's all the questions I have. Is there anything that you want to, if people want to reach out to you or find out more information about P2P, what should they do?
Yeah, they can definitely use like our social media. We are like on Twitter. We are on LinkedIn, or you can also just check our website. If you just type like p2p.org, I'm sure you will find all our socials, and just check the list of products. Check what we're doing. Of course, you can always engage with us again, as I say, on social media. You can also contact me directly. I'm also on Twitter. My handle is alerex.eth. So yeah, you can contact me if you want to talk about staking. If there is anything you would like to discuss, always happy to help there.
Cool, man. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. It was really cool to learn a lot about staking.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot for
Cool.
the space, Adam. Appreciate
Thank you. I'll see you around.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey everyone, you going to Identiverse this year, May 28th and 29th in Las Vegas? We're going to be there, and we're going to make it awesome. How? We're having a scavenger hunt where you can win awesome prizes, hats, cool bottle opener, butterfly knives, awesome whiskey stones that are all custom branded, leather posters, United Yetis, custom Viking mugs, a real weapon, custom Raven hatchet, 1,000 years old, real Viking keys, and this awesome weapon. And cool fun stuff like an invite to our private party. The way that you're gonna find it is find these little poker chips all over the convention, tap your phone to them, and that's how you're gonna start the scavenger hunt. Lots of cool prizes, and not everyone's gonna be able to make it. Hope you can do it. I'll see you guys there. Later.